Hello traders, today I want to show you a new update to Trendline breaker system, and you can find more about this on my website tradinghabitual.com. Trendline breaker system. It's severely discounted right now. Even $4.99 is not an adequate price for this, but it's currently $2.99, but it'll be price will be up there. Um, So, and also, let me show you that there is this page. It's outside of our website. It talks about documentation about this algo. We currently have Bounce Trader. Uh, that was for this. It's an additional purchase, but that's just an entry order model. Um, but this talks about every in details about this algo, what I'm about to show. It talks about tests that were run for the month of July. You can find out the all about Addon here, and also I will add some discretionary uh, trade strategies, trade ideas that I find and that I use myself. So let's go to the algo. So um, when you purchase this or when you download free trial, you will you will get the strategy add-on. This add-on pops up automatically when you enable the strategy. That's the strategy. It comes with different indicators that will help you here, and also it comes with sound alarms. You will find them here. You will need to install them in a particular directory, and it shows, I showed that in the, so you would need to take this and paste it in a file explorer and paste those in there. So let's go over this. Uh, algo. So the currently algo is set up only for trendline breaks. That's the how algo works here, and these buttons, loans on, shorts on, they only for automated trading, for algo trading, for trendline breaks. Like this would have been a trade because it broke a trend line to the upside. Um, and the idea behind this add-on is that you you let the algo trade by selecting the by choosing the safe parameters. But when doing that, you also choosing parameters that will not trigger a trade as often as you want it to. So while you're waiting, you may still have uh, trade opportunities, which is not directly, it may not be trend line breaks, but sometimes you see, well, Algo will not take this trade, but I think this is a good opportunity for a launch for trend line break. So that's the idea for the add-on, is that it allows you to enter by seeing some signals because it auto-generates signals, and it allows you to buy or sell based on those signals. So it's like you let the algo trade, but also on the flip side, you can be engaged in discretionary trading by following some rules. So again, these loans on, shorts on only for algo trading, and algo trading is only about trendline breaks. But let's say you specified some really safe parameters, but sometimes you will say, hey, I will choose, uh, let's say, if you see, well, there's gonna be a trend line break. If it happens at this particular location, I'm interested in going long or short. So we could arm it or disarm it, So let's say we wanted to, by saying this, we are saying if it's gonna break to the upside, then we're entering long. Okay, so let's see if that's gonna.
Trendline breakup
Oops.
setup.
Volume down setup.
Oops, sorry, that was a little bit. Uh, was a little bit loud, you know. So, but essentially, that's what it was. We've selected a long trade and we specified if it's gonna break to the upside, we're interested in long. That's what it did. And here, this current bar or previous bar refers to where stop loss will be made. Like here, let's just see what it's gonna do next.
Trendline break.
Volume up setup.
So here, because we selected current bar, if we would have selected previous bar, it would have placed stop loss here, and it wouldn't trigger our stop. So this is just to keep in mind. These two buttons, they apply to all of these discretionary trades. So whether you're uh, trendline break or any of these, it applies same stuff. So let's just let's try to do a short setup. Let's see if there's gonna be a short setup. Let me select this, and let's see if there's gonna be trend break to the downside. And this, it tells you it's audio alert, but this close filter refers to that it has to close above or below previous high or low. So I'm not gonna do that right now. Now this one, it was a break, but it actually is a little bit, it happened, um, see this, let me point this out, this little dot, that's where a trend line draws. So we got a break and only then trend line. So in this case, uh, it didn't have enough time to enter a trade.
Volume down setup.
But we are still
Volume down
armed
setup.
for shorts.
Trendline breakup setup.
Volume down setup. Volume up set. Volume up set. Volume up setup.
Now those volume setups, they refer to these arrows. I'll go to them later. So let me, when you're making changes in this add-on, you would have to, it's better to reload them, so that way it will tell you if it was applied or not. But usually, if the chart needs to be reloaded, it will say here settings reload required. So let's say we're going this. We're interested in a break to the downside, and it's been our trend line.
Trendline breakdown
Oh,
setup.
yeah, see right there. So there was a trend line break to the downside, and because it was a bad setup, it it hit our stop loss immediately. But this was to demonstrate how this works. And this is trendline strength. You could select it. By default, it's set to 5. But if you want more trades or more signals, I should say, you could reduce it to 4 or 3. So, so we've got. I've explained that. Let's go next. Flag long. Okay. Okay. So one more thing. For automated trading, this long threshold and short threshold, this is refers to momentum indicator. So it tells you, uh, let's enable it first because I've disabled it, and that only refers to automated trading. Okay. So let's say you're interested in a trendline break for your algo trading, and these are your setup. This is your parameters. It like during the setup, like sometimes you can see that, hey, it's a good setup for loan, and it's gonna be a trend line break. But you'll notice that, hey, your threshold is set to 4 for loans or -4 for shorts, and your momentum is not quite there. What you can do, hey, I'll do 2 and hit enter. So on the next bar, when it's gonna recalculate, it'll use the parameter 2 instead of 4 because, well, you just made a little adjustment. You didn't have to go to the strategy and then and enable or disable those settings. And this is a kind of a quick way for you to do some quick modifications. So, and actually it was, let me see. Yes, it still shows 4 for some reason, but actually it should have been changed to 3. But I will, let's see, maybe if it requires the change. Uh, Next bar. Let's see, if it's not, I will fix this. I will fix this. So, but this is just to demonstrate um, how it works. So flag loan refers to when there is flag, and flag, definition of flag is when we have a series of lower highs for bull flag, and with high momentum. So let's see if we're gonna find one. It'll
Congestion
be
long
easier
breakout.
to demonstrate that.
Congestion long breakout.
Now while it's running here, these are your,
Flag down setup.
and that was a flag down. See, so that was a flag down where we have a series of higher lows, but we are in a momentum to the downside. We are um, our stochastic is 25 or lower. So, this would have been a good setup for loan until this lows. but let's say we're gonna look for
Trendline break.
Congestion short breakout.
let me get it.
Flag down setup.
Okay, so since we're on a downtrend, let's find next flag down. So as you see, it notifies you when there's a good setup or common idea setups, and it
Trendline
prepares you,
breakdown setup.
and you can enter with those buttons. So let's say you're somewhere here and you think, hey, if we're getting a
Flag down setup.
bear flag, it's a good opportunity to go short. So this is it. Uh, okay, great. So we can also, in strategy, we specify base and runner, but also we could like enable runner or disable runner or change quantities here. So that's how that works. Now let's go to this is what I was referring to for flags, for 75 stochastic for bull flag and 25, it has to be less than 25 for bear flag. Flag lookback refers to 4, it requires 4 bars, like this one, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this works, 4 bars. If you change it to 3, it will look for 3 bar formation. FB is a flag buffer. It means it will enter 2 ticks below signal bar. Okay, so that's that. Let's go to the volume setup. Let's deselect that. And for volume, let's see what we're gonna have. When it enters a trade, I'll be able to explain you what that
Flag
is.
down setup.
Okay.
Congestion short breakout. Volume up setup.
Uh, see, for some reason it. Now, also important, all of these discretionary trades, they follow this max risk, which is 16 points. So if this wasn't 16 points, but why did it not enter? Let's see. Was a trend line break? Oh, but we're not interested in trend line break. No, that's not. Well, let's do it again. Volume loan.
Congestion short. Volume up setup.
Oh, see. So the idea is that these arrows, cyan and this one, these are the uh, volume setups, and what those are is you specify area arrow sensitivity, which is 2, which tells you the it tells you it's a custom calculation for volume, but it takes this volume, I mean the momentum, see the momentum history, and the difference between this momentum history and this is at least 2 times or more. So you've specified it here. So that tells you, hey, if our volume is at least 2 times more, you could go 3, 4, 5. Then we enter loan. So
Volume down
this
setup.
was not a good setup,
Volume down
obviously,
setup.
because it hit our low. But this was just to show you how that works. Um, and the one good idea about these volume setups, when you think about it, we have here, if if we look at this setup, we have a volume up. You would That's one idea to shade it. I don't shade it this way, but I shade the chops. So I tell you, hey, we have a volume up, but then if you have a volume down immediately after that or in a very short period of time, that's that is a much more solid signal. So if you think about it, say, hey, our volume is 2 times more to the upside, and you would expect it to go up. Oh, but then it actually reversed on you. So that word tells you, okay, so this is the signal. So you would wait, volume up, you skip it, volume down, and if you look uh, at the levels where it occurs, if you clearly see that this level is broken and now it's actually volume down setup, then you enter alone. Okay, so and let's see. So that's how I shade this volume setups. It's to identify chops. And when you load this indicator strategy, you you'll be able to see it for yourself that it's actually pretty good. Also, what is significant is, as you see, I load this on 15-minute chart time frame. I load the same volume indicator with uh, with error sensitivity 2, and this sensitivity on 15 minute is pretty significant. So uh, if you have a signal here, of course this is just this is 1 o'clock, but I'm just showing you an example that when you have signal on 15-minute time frame or on 5-minute time frame, it's usually pretty significant for a quick scalp. What I do when I have a signal on 15-minute, I'm looking for a signal on a short minute, any signal I could find, and you can find it for yourself, load this, and do the math yourself.
Volume up setup.
So let me also I want to show you how some of these areas, some of these explanations um, come from this higher time frame. Let's say, do you see this circle? Means there is no signal currently. But let's wait.
Volume down setup.
If we find signal, it will place an arrow there.
Flag down setup.
So we're waiting on this 15-minute time frame for some kind of a
Volume
signal.
up setup.
Uh, let's see.
Volume up set.
Flag up setup.
Volume down setup. Volume down setup. Congestion long breakout.
I wanted to show that to you to demonstrate that,
Volume
but
down,
we'll have
volume
to
up set,
wait
volume up setup.
until come more closer to the zero line. Okay, I can demonstrate that later.
Volume down setup.
Also, there is this little indicator, not an indicator, but a boolean. It tells you EMA signal filter on or off, and what it says, hey, for volume, I only want to enter when these lines when they're trending. So this is fast, this is slow, and between them is at least this amount, this number. And you could say that currently fast slow is 0.04, which is more than this amount right here, and it's healthy. If it's less than this, it will be overlapping. So that's a handy one that will tell you only when, uh, just make sure it'll be, markets will be trending first.
Volume down setup.
Uh, like see, this would have been probably a good trade because this is trending. And the
Flag down setup. Flag down
trade,
setup.
last trade I wanted to
Volume
show you
down setup.
Is the congestion. Now, congestion setup is, let me reload this. So we'll have our congestion boxes to show up. And let's say we have a congestion. Let's go for long and see if we're gonna have a long setup. So currently there is no setups. Now let's see. There should be. It might not. There should have been. Let me see. It's either my congestion is not working, or there's just really no signals for congestion. So let me just double check that. Okay. Yeah, you'll have to select it here. It wasn't selected previously. Okay, so see, these are our congestion boxes. So the idea behind congestion is simple, is that it allows you for a breakout trade. If there is a congestion, and whenever, according to your anticipation, if you are anticipating it to break down or to the break up, if there is going to be breakout, I'm opening to the long side or short side. Let's try to have both. Now this was okay. So it was 780. It took that trade. It took the it was algo trading. It's not this trade because you could open a output and you will say long trendline breakout. If it would have been discretionary trades, it would have tell you that discretionary, but it didn't. It's not discretionary, so it didn't tell you. This trade is from Algo. So, but we are still armed for long
Flag
or
up
short,
setup. Flag up setup.
and has to be a signal bar
Congestion long breakout.
right here. See, there is this. You don't see this, but there is a gold arrow to the upside. Okay, so it uses custom logic to prevent most of the fake ones, but this was breakout to the upside. Let's see if it worked. Okay, it didn't work, but uh, this is just to tell you, let's say, let's
Flag
do
up
it again.
setup.
Congestion long breakout.
Mhm. So yeah, there was first to the long side, but you could actually trade to the downside. So these are some of the strategies, and I will point out more in a documentation how I use them and um, why they work so well. Like for one of the ideas is because sometimes you could have a double volume signals like bar on bar. See, we had a short signal here, but then immediately reversed, have this signal, and we have the congestion here. So on this bar, we had a reversal and breakout from a congestion, and we're trending, so and everything is green here except that the stock. So that would have been a good scalp, and
Flag up setup.
let me show you.
Congestion short breakout.
Like oftentimes when you have when you have a signal, you may want to wait for retracement and then enter short or long depending on the setup. So of course these are just a random based, but if you see we have a signal here, you can wait for retracement, here. Uh, that'll save you uh, some of the uh, profits there for quick scalps.
Flag down setup.
Yeah, come on. Well, all our congestion breakouts didn't work this day. At least I wanna see at least something works. Now, right here, this is not a congestion breakout signal because signal has to be below previous lows. In this case, it's not. This is a volume breakout. Okay.
Flag down setup.
See, that was a flag down. We could have played it, but we didn't. See right here again, we have a signal down, but then if we have this, the reversal, it's a good scalp up. See, there was a congestion, but there was no signal bar. So it didn't take it. We're still armed for congestion breakout. We just need to find a valid congestion with a signal.
Flag down setup.
And there is still no signal bar from a congestion. We're still armed, so it should take it on the next available one.
Congestion short breakout.
Yeah, this was short. Why didn't it take it? Is it? Let's see. because risk is 23 points and we have 16 points here, so that's why it didn't take it. That makes sense. Okay, that's
Congestion long breakout.
we need to rearm ourselves.
Congestion long breakout.
Okay, so there was the signal. This is a VWAP, so it was probably was not a good idea to enter here, but VWAP often serves as a magnet. So even though there was no signal here, you could definitely see prices coming out from this congestion box, and it's probably heading towards the VWAP. So this trade was probably not a good trade, but this would have been a good trade because our trend line is up and everything is our histogram is up, so that was a good trade. For this, um, one more thing. Do you see this trends down triangle is 0, up triangle is 1? This refers to this consecutive trend lines. So currently it says up consecutive trend lines is currently 1 because this is our first one. Before this was to the downside. So the idea behind this is, if it breaks the first trend line, that might not be as reliable. But if there is a second or third one, it will be probably much more reliable because it's at three
Congestion
times
Flag up setup.
where it
Congestion
tried
long
to
breakout.
create a trend line. See, it's changed to 2, 1, 2. Let's say if there is gonna be 3. If there is gonna be 3, it's probably gonna be more reliable. I'm not sure if we're gonna get it. Third one. Yeah, now it's changed. See,
Flag down setup.
changed to the downside one. So yeah, of course it depends on the context. In this case, the second trend line break was a good one and it was a valid one. It didn't offer you third trend line. Like this one, it shows 2. Okay, let's see if we're gonna have let's just do long trend line break, because hey, right now we are in 2 consecutive trend lines, so we're betting that on a second one, which is now, if it breaks the trend line, it's probably gonna be a good trade. So let's think. I mean, let's wait.
Flag down setup.
And now the flag down. We are in a third down. Okay. So right now it's a third consecutive. You could see it here. Third consecutive down. And let's see if there's gonna be a trend line break. Uh, there was no signal, unfortunately, for a trend line break. Oh, but this one was.
Congestion short breakout.
But this was like a fourth one. You saw that how it uh, didn't form here, but then it formed here. Uh, but it was a little bit by this time formed. You already had this pivot, and So this is just a visual for you to look into, and you can change this HTF volume 0. It tells you it's overextended because you can specify to yourself, like that's the rule that I made is, if we are way down, it doesn't make sense to open long trade because we are overextended. Just let the market play out. But you could specify that right here in market health statistics. Again, this is not about algo trading, but it's here. You would specify that 15-minute time frame. Minimum has to be 0.3 and the maximum has to be 0.2. And in our case, we are minus 0.3, which is more than 0.2. Okay, so this was a red flag. Say, hey, don't look for longs when it's this overextended. So that's what it is I wanted to show you. I think I covered most of it. The rest will be in details in documentation that I posted there. Let's see. Sorry about that. Uh, um, let's see if there was something else. Yes, the VWAP and EMA distance means here is the EMA and here is a VWAP. That's 159 points, which is a trending market, which is good. If it's like less than 6, then it's really overlapping and there is no trend. Better stay away. This tells you momentum indicator, ATR for usual 14 period stochastics. Sometimes, sometimes the momentum, I chose 31 to be more safe. Usually it's period 14. So it gives you two ideas. Oftentimes momentum is down, but stock is up. And when stock is high, like over 65, closer to 70, it it provides good scalping opportunities. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful. Yeah, feel free to try it out. It's free to try out, and let me know. Thanks.